Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome to this meditation. I'm sitting outside at the Pecos Historical Landmark, uh, the site of what used to be the Pueblo civilization. There's actually ruins over in the distance there of the church. This whole area was quite a Pueblo settlement. Earlier, I was actually off the trail a bit, and I found a beautiful little place to sit by the rocks. But I just happened to look in between the run of the rocks, and there was a snake sitting there. This area is full of all sorts of kinds of snakes, including the famous rattlesnake of the American Southwest. So I figured I would go where there's a little bit fewer places for them to hide. So uh, once again, welcome. And I've titled this one "The Peace of Being." We're in a we're really in an unusual time right now. A time when all of the things we normally do have been taken um, away from us. We humans have become extremely dependent upon doing, addicted to doing, really. Everything is about doing. Now, there's a natural component to that, of course. The nervous system, the whole body, is an interactive and a reactive system that is constantly engaged with the environment. But the big blessing of being born a human, the quality and attributes and gift that belong uniquely to the human is our capacity to actually ponder ourselves, to be able to self-consider. Every other animal in the animal kingdom, at least as far as we can tell, is driven completely by instinct. There's no discrimination, there's no determination, there's no sense of choice or volition. It's purely a system that is beautifully and powerfully integrated into the environment, which is where this body system originated. But this body system of the human became the vehicle through which a completely different level of being, a completely different um, aspect of being could emerge. And that's consciousness, self awareness, self consideration, self pondering. I'd really like you to take a moment and to just kind of take in the significance of that, the significance of this capacity we have to turn our attention inward and become more than just doing, to become aware of being aware. This isn't a denial of the instincts, it's not a suppression of them. As a matter of fact, if you try to do that, you'll get in big trouble, and a lot of spiritual practices do. This is simply, consciousness has gone beyond the purely instinctive to self considering, to self consciousness, to self awareness. What we discover when we do this is not what we expect to discover when we start. Every other critter in in the known universe is just pure being. They just are. They're not questioning it. They're not deliberating over it. They just are. But they don't have the capacity to recognize that they just are. I mean, imagine this incredible universe. I mean, look where I am right now. I mean, just imagine this with no one here to appreciate it, with no sense of, of awareness that says, my God, this is breathtaking. To just stand in awe of it. You know, whenever that happens, and everybody's had that experience, I sometimes call it the power of wow, where something just so captivates you, it just stops you in your tracks. And there's just this moment of pure being and a moment of unity. It's like you disappear and all there is the experience. The one that's having the experience disappears. And there's just nothing but pure experience, which is, of course, exactly what animals and young children experience all the time. But the advantage we have is to become aware of it. Being is always there. You can't, you cannot avoid it, right? I mean, obviously you have to be before you can have any kind of an experience. So there's this substratum underneath that underlies all experience, which is just being. But being, by definition, can't be an experience. It's something else altogether. It's not a doing, and it's not just a background of doing. Right? It's just not something that's there when we don't have anything else to do. Being is not an action. It's not an event. It's not an activity. It's not something that is happening. It's exactly the opposite. It's not happening. It just is. And this is the dimension that you, as a human being, have access to. Consciously have access to it. So as we start into the meditation, I want you to recognize that at the root of all experience is the unexperienced being. You don't experience being, you just are being. So close your eyes and let your attention begin to sink inward. Towards what? We often hear people say, you want to focus within or go within. But what does that really mean? And what do we find when we do that? The Native Americans, since I'm sitting in the ruins of a Native American culture, they believed in 7 directions. North, south, east, and west, of course, which all had mystical significance. Up, Father Sky, down, Mother Earth, and in. Now I point in, right? And isn't it interesting that when we point inward, that we always point to our chest, not to our heads. We point to our hearts. So turning inward is not a direction like north, south, east, west, up, or down. And it's found simply by bringing your attention away from anything external. Starting with closing your eyes, there's automatically a sense, the attention begins to scan the inner world of feeling, of visceral experience. And continuing, we notice that we're breathing and we're aware of breathing. There wouldn't be any breathing without an awareness of it. There's always this background, this ground, this place that isn't an event, where all events register. Every breath you take, notice simultaneously a subtle presence that is aware of each breath. Take in your whole body. Notice that the same thing is happening. There's this feeling, this energy flow, this energy pattern. There could even be anxiety and fear. It could be calm, no matter what the actual experience is, no matter what is happening of it. Presence. It's very quiet because it isn't moving. It's silent because it's not saying anything. And notice how quiet it actually is. Peace doesn't move. Presence doesn't move. That's what makes it peaceful. The awareness of things isn't embroiled in the thing. That's deeply profound and powerful to recognize. Is that this being that is aware is you. And it appears to be you too, because the signal here. And you just keep noticing that are appearing to this very quiet, stable. And even that is also being so silent, it cannot be perceived at all. While you're noticing it, this peace, this presence, different from you, air of this kind of peace, even more subtle. This is the great realization. Peace is not something you experience, it's what you are. It's not the absence of experience, it's the background of experience. It's always there. Just look. As you go through your day today, every time it occurs to you, just look and see if it's still there. See if it's disappeared somewhere. See if it's coming and going. Or if it simply comes in and out of our attention. So take a nice breath. And as we do come back from this, my mission in life is to show you that these places we visit in meditation are not separate from you. It's actually not a place you're visiting. It's yourself that you're discovering. So you can open your eyes at any time. I keep checking the internet here. The signal has absolutely been perfect. So I don't actually think it's on my side this time. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. I am using a hotspot, a mobile spot, so it could be T-Mobile, it could be YouTube. I'm not exactly sure which, but it did all of a sudden get very, very choppy. Hello, Ava. Good to see you. Rosario, Carrie said she probably won't be able to make the whole thing because it's 2 in the morning where she is. She's in Australia. Yeah. Dale in Massachusetts. John. Mr. P just walked shaman and didn't notice. Yes, probably curious as to why the old guy was sitting out here with kombucha, looking at a computer with all this beautiful stuff around him. Tesca says namaste. Hello, Tesqua. Kakwenda, hello to you. Hello to you. Let's see. Ava, you live now like a hermit, sage in ancient times, snakes, wild animals. Happily, there's an internet. Yes, ancient times with an internet. That's the best. Yes, connection was spotty, not the best. Daryl, hello, Daryl. Cheryl, hello. Ugh, I was late, said Brian. It's okay. Love you, GP, says Nikisha. Love you too. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Nishkala. Very good. Sean says, thank you, GP. I will visit you in these mountains one day. Oh, Lisa, hello. Hello. Good vibes. Good vibes. So I'll hang out here for a minute, see if there's any questions. It's a popular spot. Yeah. It's very quiet. I got 4 bars on my phone, so it's perfect. So, yes, I said it right. Nishkala. Nishkala. Beautiful name. Beautiful name. So, yes, I know it was kind of interrupted a bit in the meditation, but this is kind of the way it works, right? Our attention gets pulled away from where we want it for whatever reason, be it a bad connection or an email comes in or somebody taps you on the shoulder. And we seem to, when we go with the attention, when we go to with where the attention goes to, of course, immediately the nervous system begins to react to that, because that's what its job is, right? It's constantly in interaction with the environment. And if we don't know better, we kind of go with it and feel like I have been disturbed. The whole point of meditation is to take the I and return it back to the place that's undisturbable, which is always there. I mean, that's the peace, that's the presence, that's the awareness. It's always there. And you know you are always there, because no matter where we go in the meditation, however deep, you're always there, right? No matter how deep it goes, you're there first. It's just we've mistaken that I thought for what our attention goes onto. We've mistaken ourselves for the conditioned reactions of the nervous system. That's the only mistake we've made. And this is the big gift of consciousness I was talking about earlier. The animals and plants, they can't do that. They cannot see that they are not their conditioning, although they're not. Consciousness that appears as a plant or a snake is the same consciousness that appears as a human. But this particular instrument gives us the capacity to actually become aware of it. Oh, I'm not my conditioning. And this entire body, mind structure is conditioning, right? The body is a condition of particular pieces of energy and stuff, right? So everything is conditioned. Thoughts are just conditioned patterns. Emotions, conditioned patterns. The whole reactive nervous system, conditioned patterns. That's all it is. There's no person there. There's no mind there. There's nobody there. It is just the functioning of life. And your gift from being born a human is that you get to see that. I am not my conditioning. The I has returned to the place of peace. There's nothing that more than seeing people squandering this opportunity as a human being for self-awareness, to squander it on accumulation and success and fame and money and all of the things that we think are so very important. But those are all part, that's all the human form, which is just a step above all the other primitive forms. It's just another function of the same thing. The same thing of the dog going after food when the humans try to accumulate wealth. It's the same mindless activity, and it is a waste of a human life. It is a waste of the most precious opportunity you could possibly be given, being born a human, to discover the peace of being, to discover what you and everything actually is. Nishkala says it means undivided. Oh, I love that. Undivided. Advaita. Your name means would be Advaita in Sanskrit. Mary says, much better now. Sorry, I interrupted during meditation. I thought I was catching you when you first came on. No, no problem. I notice those things, but I don't pay any attention. It doesn't feel like, unless it feels like an interruption, it's not, right? You're always the one that determines the quality of experience because there's nothing inherent in any experience. You can be, you can experience as peace, or you can experience as some person in the midst of the fray. In 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 one instance, you're absolutely calm and everything just kind of goes by you like clouds in the sky. In the other, you think the sky is falling. So peace can't be interrupted. Peace is unbroken. Now, our experience can be, but every time our experience of peace gets it feels like it's being broken, and there goes there goes the internet again. Well,